car, I said she grabbed me. Tears fled the head, I'm weak, not dead. She tweet, I guess she confess. She thinking less, not drinking less. Bathroom says best to get spontaneous. Our stereotype put to rest tonight. Imagine, believe, and achieve, it works. Skyline as I rise like fireworks. Smell through the bad, don't touch my purse.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to this edition of After the Storm. I'm your host, Matt Clark, and today we're going to be talking about the Thunder and the Thunder draft options for this upcoming draft. We, if you haven't watched or you're under a rock somewhere or you're not paying attention to what the Thunder's options are, we do have options for this year. We have the fourth pick, we have the 12th pick, we have the 30th pick, and we have the 34th pick. And if you remember last year, we drafted Jeremiah Robinson Earl with the 35th pick. So I'm excited about that and what we have. So we're going to talk more about what the options are. We talked about it a little bit this last week. There's been some speculation, and I'm just going to reiterate over and over and over my draft position. And, of course, the Thunder has their people out there. And it comes down to three players, really, in reality. Jabari, Paolo Banchero, and Chet Holmgren. And I'm sorry, he does decent against. Now, my thing with Chet is his upside, yes, he's got some upside. But we don't need upside. We got upside in Poku. We got a developmental player in that. We got a developmental player in Basley. We don't need any more developmental players. We need to win now. We need players who can help us now. And that's Jabari and Banchero. Now, the thing is this, none of those three guys, well, Jabari is probably the one is probably the most NBA ready of the three. Chet is the least NBA ready of the three. And, when people talk about his weaknesses, they really don't get into it. But his weaknesses is very, very glaring. When he came against NBA competition or NBA level talent, he shrank. So you're going to spend the second overall pick on somebody who shrank. And we can go back and look at the Thunder's picks. Kevin Durant, number 2. Jeff Green, number 5. Russell, number 3. Serge, of course, was late in the first round. James Harden, 5th, 6th. So when you go back and you look at that and you look at those three, is Chet in the same league as any of those guys? All of those guys were what? They had one thing in common. Kevin was ready to play. Jeff was ready to play. Russell was ready to play. Ibaka was ready to play. And Harden was ready to play. You even had Reggie Jackson. He was ready to play. Steven Adams, ready to play. And Josh Giddey, ready to play. Trey came on at the end. Josh came on at the end. But ready to play right out the gate, Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, James Harden. When you look at 7, 8, and 9, when you look at that draft, what the Thunder did in the 07, 08, 09 draft, when you look at what you got out of that draft classes, those guys were ready to play immediately. Now, of these guys that you have, of those three, 2 of them are ready to play immediately. 1 is not. I don't know why people fall in love with these Gonzaga players. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. The guys can't play. Over and over, they get drafted. Adam Morrison on, and you can just, there's tons of them. The guys can't play in the league. They can play out there, and Gonzaga is great. In fact, my boy Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com, we talked about this. Duke has 0 players in the top 75. Now, my rebuttal is that had Grant Hill not gotten hurt, he would have been in the top 75. But the rest of them, no. Now, Williams, had he not got hurt, he probably would have been, those two would have probably been in. Kyrie was the Duke. He didn't make it. Is he a top 75 player? No. Close, yes. Top 125, yes. But Grant Hill and Williams, those two, yes, close. But had Grant Hill and those two not got injury bug, I believe both of those would have probably made it. For sure, Grant Hill would have been in the top 75. So is it the program or is it the players? And next week I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go get all the first round draft choices from Gonzaga. Now Jalen Suggs at Orlando, I like him a lot. He's doing really good. He's doing about kind of what I thought he'd do, but probably a little bit better because I'm just down on Gonzaga players. But when I look at this kid, he plays hard. He does all the little things. He and Chet played together in high school. They played together in college. So here's a guy who played with Chet in high school and college, and Orlando is not looking to draft him. Why would you, as Oklahoma City Thunder, want to draft him? Because of what people say, oh, his upside? He's got upside, no doubt. But right now, we broke down who the Thunder have. Who are the Thunder players when I graded them? This is what you got. You have Shea. You have Josh. You have Dort. You have Mann. You have Wiggins. You have Jeremiah Robinson. All of those guys, that's six right there, you're golden. Those guys all came in. And remember last year's draft, who did we get in last year's draft? Do y'all even know who we got in last year's draft? I know who we got in last year's draft. Here's the Thunder's draft class from last year. Look at that. Josh Giddey, Trey Mann both averaged in double-figure scoring. And had Aaron Wiggins and Robinson Earl not got hurt, I believe they probably have been close to it, or if not scoring in double figures. So, to me, why would you go get a guy who's not ready in Chet Holmgren? And the fact that he said, who do you think the best player is in the NBA? He goes, me in 2 months. Dude, whatever you smoking, I want some of that because you high as hell. We saw you play against Jalen Duren. What did he do? He dominated you, the center from Memphis. We saw you play against Arkansas. What did they do? They dominated you. What did you do? Disappear against competition. So the Thunder would take the number 2 overall pick for a guy who disappears against competition. Disappears against competition. And what is the NBA? Athleticism, athleticism, athleticism. What is the Thunder's weaknesses? We can't defend, we have no inside presence, and we can't shoot the three. Those are your needs. You have a good group, a core group. Plus, remember, Shea is coming up for his deal in what? His extension in what? 3 years? So you're going to waste next year by drafting Chet. For what? I just don't understand it. But next week, I'm going to break down the Gonzaga players. And I'm telling you, these guys, they're great in their little system. But it's just like Duke players. Great in their little system. But does that translate to the league? No, it does not. And this guy, you got everything you wanted to see when he played against competition, NFL, NBA level competition. He shrank. And just think, that was on a small sample. Wait till you get an everyday sample. And on top of that, we have a Chet. Tall, skinny, potential, can handle the ball, pass the ball, have all that skill set. We have that already. His name's Poku. And what have we found out about him? He can't play in this league yet. Does he have the potential? Sure. But what the Thunder do offensively and the way we play, more of a half-court style offense. Now, granted, when we get out in transition and we're rolling up and down the court, then we can shoot threes all over the place. But you notice when the Thunder cut down, when I had talked about this from the very beginning of my live stream, when the Thunder cut down on the number of threes that they were shooting, what happened? They stayed in games. We started winning games. Remember, the over and under Thunder last year was 17. And we ended up 24. And had we not shut him down and he got hurt, had Josh not missed a significant amount of games, had we kept our team, like I had said, we would have won 27, 28 games. That was where I picked us. And I'd have been right on the money had those guys not get hurt. Now, My takes aren't exactly the most popular because why? I tell you the truth, and then what I say, what 90% of the time I'm telling you something, it happens. Which is one of the reasons why I do the live stream is because people were telling me over and over and over, dude, you're talking the truth. You're telling us what we need to hear. Why aren't you telling everyone? Because when you listen to the Thunder's job is to give you wine and roses and beautiful and paint this great picture. That's their job. That ain't my job. My job is to tell you the truth. My job is to give you a good, straight up, honest opinion of what's happening. And if you draft Chet, this Thunder, you have the Thunder have a tremendous opportunity right now. You look at what we drafted last year. You look at what the opportunity of guys that we can draft this year. And let me pull that up. Okay? Here are the Thunder draft options for 2022. Here are options right here, right now. When you look at this, and like we said, my boy Randy Wright just said the Knicks want to trade him to the Thunder. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that boy. At YMB, family owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that boy. Anyway, here are your options: Jabari Smith, Paulo Banchero, and Jalen Duren. Okay, those are your three big guys. To me, we need size. Those are your three options right there for shot blockers to have some sort of things in the paint. Then your next group are Jalen Average, Shaden Sharp, Keegan Murray. Now, I like Dyson Daniels a lot. I think he would be good. I also like Mathurin, the sophomore shooting small forward from Arizona. I like him a lot. I like Johnny Davis. So I believe that we may have a possibility of getting those guys later, one of those guys. But what do we need? We talked about this. We need somebody to alter shots, somebody to stay after people, somebody to guard the paint. And when you look at Dallas, they don't have anybody to guard the paint. Golden State's averaging 50 points a game in the paint. Because why? They don't have any rim protectors. But what does Golden State have? They have a rim protector. We need a rim protector. Now, of that group, Jalen Duren is probably the best one of that group as far as a rim protector. Now, Chet could be a rim protector, but he can't defend out on the post. He's 7 foot. Can you imagine him trying to guard Steph Curry? Can you imagine him trying to guard Russell? Can you imagine him trying to guard LeBron? Can you imagine him trying to guard SGA? I don't think he can guard Giddey. The only guy on our team that he could probably guard is maybe Poku. But he can't guard Trey Mann for sure. So what are you going to do with a big guy who's out on the wing? He's got a long wingspan, but that ain't happening. But anyway, the best three options for me, the top two options for first and second are no-brainers. It's either Jabari or Pancharo. So whoever, to me, that Orlando takes, you take the opposite one. Because if Chet is the best guy in the deal, then why wouldn't they be looking to take Chet? Because they know Jabari is the best guy set up, ready for the league. Chet, he can maybe play. He's got wingspan. He's got potential. But he's skinny as a rail. He doesn't have any weight. He'll get pushed around just like he did by Memphis and Arkansas. Just like last year. The guy is cool. He ain't going to make it. Now, Jalen Duren, I believe we could possibly get him at number 12. He possibly will still be there at 12 because I've got 12 guys there. So he could possibly still be there at 12. But like we said, we got to have guys who can shoot the ball, and we have to have a rim protector. And he's the best rim protector available early. Now remember, we still have Sarr and we still have Diakite. And both of them are still projects and still getting their feet and figuring it out. But what does Golden State do? They draft smart through the draft based on what they have as far as talent that's left in. You look at it. Who they get? Steph Curry through the draft. Clay through the draft. Draymond through the draft. Jordan Poole through the draft. Now, they traded for Andrew Wiggins. Okay, so when you look at what did they do, what do they have, who have they drafted? They've taken great picks. Miami, same thing. Now, the Thunder, your first picks, what did you draft? When we go back, do we need to go back over that again? Durant, ready to play. Jeff Green, ready to play. Uh, Harden ready to play. Russell ready to play. Steven Adams ready to play. Serge Ibaka ready to play. You don't need to get somebody. We've already did that. Baisley not ready to play. Poku not ready to play. And then you're gonna waste another first round pick on Chet, who ain't ready to play. I promise you, he's not ready to play in this league. He's not ready. It's not happening. The Thunder will be making a huge. Our franchise will be set back if they draft him. You got to get guys. Go back to the philosophy that got us where we needed to be. You look at who we drafted early. Quick, athletic guys who can ready to play today. What have we done lately? Draft guys in between Poku and Baisley, guys who weren't ready to play. Then this 2021 draft, you got Giddey ready to play, Trey Mann ready to play, Wiggins ready to play, Robinson Earl ready to play. Remember, 3 of those guys started for you. Trey Mann was the only one that didn't start. And why would you start Trey Mann? You got Shea. So you're set at guard. Everybody talks about, Ivory. Well, he's a great player, but we don't need Jaden Ivory. We got 4 guys. We're set at guard. I think we're okay with guard. Now, if you had an Ivy, then you move Dort to the 3. That's fine. But at the same time, you've got Giddey, you've got Shea. So if you're going to put him at the 3, what are you going to do with Ivy? You got to put Ivy at the 3. And you got to bring Dort off the bench again. That's what you got to do with him. But why would you draft him? We need size, and we need guys who can protect the paint, who can shoot the 3. Now, Jabari is a much better three-point shooter than Paolo. But Paolo is athletic. He can get to the basket, and he can finish, unlike Baisley. So, to me, if Jabari's there, you take him, even though I like Banchero, better fit for us athletically. I like the fact that you want to take Jabari because he's most, I think, NBA ready of the 3. And if Chet is so great, why the hell wouldn't Orlando take him first round? His guy is playing there right with him already. Why wouldn't you draft him if he's that great? That tells you something. And Houston wants him anyway. So why wouldn't the Thunder cut a deal with Houston? Hey, you guys want Chet so bad? Give us a draft pick and give us your second-round draft pick. We'll take him. We'll give you Chet. We'll move down 1. You can have Chet. We'll take Banchero. Thunder has options. But if you take Chet, I promise you, he ain't ready. Listen, I tell people all day long, what the March Madness does, it takes kids who weren't very good and give them a chance to shine, and they do really well. Like Kemba Walker played decently, and he got to March Madness, went off for UConn in the tournament. They won the Big East, turned around and won the tournament, NCAA tournament, and then Kemba's done really, really well. So you got guys like him. And then you got guys who play really well in the season. All of a sudden, against competition, they shrink. That's what happened with Chet. He's playing against guys in that conference, shooting whatever. I mean, he's not as good as all these people want him to be. He's skinny. He's not physically ready for the league. He's just not. He's a project. And I promise you, Thunder fans want to win. We want to go back. We got spoiled when we got here. We had that first year of what we were terrible. And then after that, we were on the roll. Why? Because you drafted well. You added Harden. You added Ibaka. You added Steven Adams. And we went on a run. Why? Because of what you added to the roster. You drafted guys who were NBA ready. That guy is not NBA ready. We have that guy. We have Chet in Poku. He's tall. He can handle the ball. He can pass decently, but he can't defend, and he can't beat you off the bounce. He's decent from 3. You've already got that, and you're going to get a guy that's, an inch taller? Same guy, so you're going to have 2 of the same guys on your team? That makes 0 sense. Now, if you want to capture and get the Thunderdome or get whatever you want to call Paycom Center, I want to call it Thunderdome because what I called it, when you want to get it back to rocking, when you want to get Loud City doing what Loud City does, Then you go get Jabari or you go get Bankero. Then hopefully you can get Duran later. Then you got multiple options at 30 and 34. There's tons of guys who can shoot the ball. But we're good 6'4" to 6'8". We're loaded with those guys. 6'9". We need 6'10" and above who can block shots and can be intimidating, who can alter shots like Javon Looney from Golden State. Big guy, they drafted, turned out well. He can block the play, he can block shots, he can alter shots. That's what Sarr does. He can alter shots. Diakite not so much, but kind of, but Sarr can block shot or alter shots, just doesn't have the size. So you're going to get another guy, doesn't have the size, got pushed around. Same thing's going to happen to him. With your 12th pick, if you can get Jalen Duren, if he's still there, which I doubt if he will be, but if he is, bam, that's sweet. You got Jabari, you got him. Perfect. You got both of these guys coming in. It's a perfect fit for what the Thunder want to do. It just flows right into us. Then all of a sudden, remember, you got to pay SGA in 3 years for a max. Now, if you draft another guy who ain't going to help him, why the hell am I going to stay here? I'm gone. You think other teams aren't going to go get Shea? Hell yeah, they're going to go get him. I would. I'd be out of here. If this is what you gave me 4 guys who can help me this year. Now you got a chance to give me 4 more guys who can help it. And then in 2 years, all of a sudden, next year, they're going to be rookies. They're going to make mistakes. All of a sudden, the guys that you had here, Giddey, Mann, Wiggins, Robinson Earl, are going to be playing a lot better because they've had a year of experience. Then you've got this next group of guys that you drafted this year. All of a sudden, they're getting the flow. Then that second year, which is the 3rd year for getting them, the 2nd year for these guys, you're rolling. I'm telling you, this is what the formula for the Thunder can be. We have a great opportunity. I hope we don't waste it. Now, it'd be remiss of me not to talk about the NBA last night. Here are the scores from the games last night. The Celtics, 93. The Heat, 80. The Heat are just in trouble. Jimmy Butler, since his knee thing, he just hasn't been the same guy, averaging 9 points a game. But, I was listening to Shannon Sharp, and I agree with Shannon. If you're hurt, don't play. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. If you're hurt, don't play. If you can't give me what you can give me full 100%, don't play. It killed Baker, it's killing Jimmy. If you can't play, don't play. If you can't play, don't play. And the Heat scoring 90, 80 points. And when you look at the box score, excuse me, that's the Thunder box score, my bad. Sorry about that, guys. When you look at the box score, what did I do with that? Man, I'm going to go talk about my sponsors first. Anyway, let's talk about our latest sponsor, Y&B, family-owned and operated since 1912. The bank that makes things happen. Pre-qualify online if you want to get a car loan or anything you want to go. www.ynbok.com. That's ynbok.com. www. If you need anything like that. So they're perfect for that. But anyway, that being said, I also want to thank my other sponsors, and that is Collaborative Logic. If you have any IT needs, please go check those guys out. And SRB, if you need engineering, surveying, or planning, guys for that. Oak Grove Trucking, if you need something hauled off. And, of course, my guys over at NAFCO, if you need something done with that. So I want to thank those guys for supporting our show at MC Sports Network. And I appreciate everything they're doing for us right now as far as making sure, because the beautiful thing about Y&B and what they're doing is they are allowing us to go out and to support minority and black-owned businesses and women-owned businesses, because on Wednesdays we do the Unpopular Hour, which is my other show. I do 3 shows. We do the Unpopular Hour, and then on Wednesdays, the Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday, which we're going to be going to women-owned businesses. And then, of course, on Thursdays, it's Thunder Thursday, what we do after the storm, where we continue to do our NBA, catch up for far as the Thunder. and then also what we're doing for that. So anyway, I appreciate that. So when we look at the brackets, when you look at what's happening here in our bracket play, I like what's going on here. When Golden State, I think they'll close them out tonight. I don't see Dallas doing what they did the other night. I mean, they were shooting crazy stats. It was actually insane what they did stat wise the other night. Boston and Miami, I think Boston has to close them out. I don't think they want to go back to Miami for a game seven because, as we know, in game sevens, anything could possibly happen when it comes to stuff like that. So, but anyway, it's been some great games. I do, however, believe that Golden State will win tonight and close out the Mavericks at home. I believe that they need to get some rest because remember, the NBA Finals start the second. Next Thursday, a week from today, the NBA Finals start. So neither team who's up right now they want to close these games out because the last thing you want to do, both of them are home. Golden State has a chance to close out in Game 5 at home. Boston has a chance to close out Game 6 at home. Now, is Dallas going to come out and shoot the ball crazy like they did? What were they? Something ridiculous, 20 for 43 or something stupid like that. Insane what they shot at home. But like we said, a lot of it had to do with them not having some pride. I think a lot of it had to do with the shooting at Uvalde School with the 19 kids being killed and the 2 teachers. And to do with Steve Kerr and his mentality, and I think because his pregame speech was about basketball is secondary when it comes to stuff like this. And I think it hurt them. I think it hurt Golden State. I think mentally they weren't into it because they were feeling for their coach. Because if you guys don't know, Steve Kerr's dad was murdered in 1984, and when he was the headmaster of American University over in Lebanon, and he was assassinated because he was an American and because he was trying to help people. And you know the Islamic people aren't friendly when it comes to Americans, and they did what they had to do to eliminate him, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And of course, him talking about HR 8, the background check for guns, which I still don't know. He called out Mitch McConnell about that because in 2021, this is when it went onto the floor, and it never got any traction until yesterday that they brought it up. And then everything has to do with the politics. And my boy Drew Henthorne and I of HuskerDrewPicks.com, we talked about that yesterday on how it's really simple. Whether it's the left or the right. Somebody wants to put some additional add-on into the bill. The team from the other group from the other side, whether it's the left or the right, is opposed against that. And so they're like, well, screw it. If I can't get what I want, you ain't getting what you want. And the thing with American politics is simple. Y'all need to do what we as a majority say this is what we want. We want abortion. Why? Because it's safety in women. Who the hell are you to tell a woman what they got to do with their own body? Stay in your own lane. Pay attention to what you need to do. What does the Bible say? Before you take the splinter out of somebody else's eye, take that big old plank out of yours. Focus on what you need to do instead of worrying about what somebody else is doing. And those people are the same people who are saying the government can't make me want to do a mask. They're the same people telling the government that you should tell these people what to do with their body. She's a woman. Let her do what the hell she wants. It's not your business. Whatever happens between her body and her one, I'm not a fan of abortion. That's not what I'm saying. But if that's what somebody wants to do, that's on you. When your time comes before the big fella, you can't say, oh, well, the government, whatever. That's on you. You have to explain to God why you did what you did. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of After the Storm. Once again, I appreciate my sponsors for their help in sponsoring the show. And of course, that's Collaborative Logic IT Solutions. If you got any solutions, if you got anything IT that you need fixed, call Russell and those guys over there. SRB for any engineering, surveying, and planning needs. Of course, my guy, Jose Fierro at Oak Grove, and Max and Greg Nafee, if you've got anything that you need to do for them. And then I want to thank my guys over at Yukon National Bank, YNB. family owned and operated since 1912. The bank that makes things happen. And if you have any need for a car or a home or refinance or anything like that, please pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. You can pre-qualify at www.ynbok.com. I want to thank those guys for that opportunity. And unlike Drew, I'm not going to tell you to go see Carolyn. I said I wasn't going to do that. I did it. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of After the Storm. Once again, I'm your host, Matt Clark. I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope you got to learn something from it. And, like most of y'all, what I'm telling you is stuff that you've already thought, but I'm just giving you confirmation that, yes, you were thinking correctly and you were on point. So I want to thank everybody for watching the show. And remember, you can go to mcsportsnetwork.com if you want to look at any of the, if you want to look at any of the past shows, you can go to mcsportsnetwork.com and check them out. All right? Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Everybody be safe.